I just finished watching the first episode of Invincible Season 4, and it's off to an insane start. And there are so many things I want to talk about. So if you haven't seen the first episode of the new season, go ahead and skadoodle, because there's going to be spoilers. So like the past couple of seasons, we open up Season 4 to a musical montage, where we get clips of the different characters and what they're going through, essentially setting the scene for what's been going on since the last time we saw them. Mark defeats some kind of outer space monster, Oliver is aged up a little bit, and he's fighting his own villains without the assistance of Mark, or really any other hero. We see Cecil submerged in some kind of bath at the GDA. We get a shot of the Guardians of the Globe, and they're now being led by Britt. Invincible pops in to help the Guardians take care of an enemy, and while Britt gives Mark a thankful, appreciative look, the rest of the citizens look at Mark with a level of distrust and distaste, which weighs heavily on Mark, because Mark himself is struggling with his own PTSD and his own experiences over what happened with the Invincible War, and with his fight with Conquest and almost losing Eve, and almost dying himself. He ends up actually having an argument with Oliver, and while he's angry at Oliver, it's really a projection of his own anger he has for himself, and his inability to have protected the people who died during the Invincible Wars and during the fight with Conquest. We get a few fun little scenes throughout the episode of Mark having a dinner with Eve's family, which is real awkward, and it continues to reinforce that Eve's dad is probably the worst character of the whole show. Oliver gets his suit changed a little bit. There's a little bit of tension when Debbie sees the O on Oliver's outfit, but Oliver feels, after having fought in the Invincible War against all the different Invincibles and almost dying while fighting Conquest, he feels like he's earned the symbol and that the symbol is now his. And while Oliver is getting a new outfit, everything bad that could happen does happen. We get Dinosaurus attacking Invincible, which, sidebar, I am so excited for Dinosaurus. And then we also learn that Dinosaurus is actually a human who has like a multiple personality kind of deal, where one of his personalities is human and the other personality is dinosaur. Universa makes her way down to Earth and starts stealing electricity from lights and from power grid stations, which Mark and Eve end up showing up to the power grid station and having a big fight with Universa. And while Eve fights Universa, we see her power start to fall apart even more. This is after she melted Mark's clothes at the end of season 3. Right after Eve and Mark are able to handle Universa, the Sequids make their way back, and Mark rushes off to go help the Guardians of the Globe take on the Sequid threat. They're able to close off the grid with this giant dome that the GDA invented, and while they're trying to find the different hosts that have Sequids attached to them, Rudy, whose name is now Rex, realizes there's more hosts in the sewers. He makes his way down into the sewers, and he ends up saving the people that are being possessed by the Sequids, and he narrowly escapes himself. The rest of the Guardians are able to save all of the rest of the hosts, and the only one left was Russ, the original one who got possessed back in season 1. Mark is able to get Russ in his hands, and he's trying to wait for Bulletproof to get him the disruptor, but time is running out because the dome is about to fail and the Sequids are about to get free. And Mark makes a call, and Russ Livingston is no longer living. And just when we think the episode is over, we get a scene of seeing Conquest escape his prison that Cecil locked him in. We see Cecil and Donald watching Conquest fly out of the solar system, and that was that for the first episode. It was so action-packed and they had so much going on. And with as intense as this first episode was, oh, it makes me hopeful that the rest is just going to get even more intense. What was your favorite part of this first episode, and what do you hope to see happen within season 4? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know.